Hey guys, here to bring you my review of Vikings Season 1, Episode 8, entitled Sacrifice. And isn't that kind of a fitting title considering what happened in this episode? So yeah, I believe this is gonna be like straightforward, won't take me that much time at all. So in this episode, we have Ragnar still mourning the death of his unborn son, and you have at this point Allison like truly ingrained into the culture. He got himself like a bigger beard than I do. His hair's a lot and all that shit. So yeah, pretty much Ragnar tells Allison about Uppsala and how you know everyone goes there every 9 years. And how it's like their way of giving thanks to the gods for protecting them in battle, their crops, and protecting their children. You know, and he was saying to Allison that you know, pretty much that he wasn't planning on going this year, but he would just he wanted to ask the gods why they would take his son, away, his unborn child away from him. And he asked Athelstan, what does your Christian God, say about these things? And Athelstan's like, well, all bad things will come to pass. And then Ragnar just kind of looked at him and was like, okay, anyways, like pretty much fuck his way of thinking about that. Asking him, would you want to join us? Come along with us. Saying that he's bringing the children for the first time. And Allison's like, I'll go. And Ragnar's like, oh, that's good. I was going to bring you anyways. So, yeah. We have this beautiful wide shot of the mountains and the skies and the sea and shit. And you have the Ragnar, Rollo, and company just climbing up, the mountains and shit. And they finally make it to Uppsala. And when you go inside, it's like, kind of like, sort of remind me of like Native American, like those like little poles, whatever, like little totem poles, I assume, whatever. So yeah, you have Bjorn pretty much asking Athelstan if he knew anything about who that particular totem pole is supposed to represent. Athelstan's like, of course I would. I think he said Odin or Thor. It was one of those two. So anywho, Lagertha has Gita with her. Then she sort of makes a prayer to the goddess Freya saying, please bear me with seed before it's over. It's too late. My marriage will be done and shit. And Ragnar, he prays to Odin saying that, the Circe is going to have, lots of sons, but who will bear his children? And ironically, while he's saying this, Lagertha is done with hers and she peeps him and he turns his head to the other side and finishes, pretty much his questioning, prayerness, all that shit. So pretty much we have this scene in which Rollo's pretty much trying to peep game at Helga. Now, if I remember correctly, I believe Rollo raped Helga the first episode, I believe, the character at least. But anywho, Floki seen what Rollo was doing, and he was like, hurry up, Helga, I'm hungry. Pretty much, interrupting them, whatever. So, yeah. Ragnar comes. Ragnar pretty much tells Bjorn that the sacrifices are done after the festival. Pretty much after everyone gets all the partying shit out of their system. So, what else happened? Trying to keep everything in order. I believe Athelstan comes out, probably the next morning, and he notices that, hey, look, there's 9 animals, and he notices the 9 guys there pretty much dressed in white, honestly representing sacrifices. Ryan's like, yeah, 9 and 9, the 9 years and all that. You get the point. So, yeah, we have this rave that's going on pretty much, in which Athelstan's just walking and shit, and no. Actually, no, fuck that. There's another scene that happened. It's a scene which Ragnar, Bjorn, Lagertha, and Athelstan are on their knees, and the priest of the temple, whatever, are saying Freya, pretty much saying the god names and sort of briefly talking about the stories, the great stories, and all that stuff. So you pretty much got a thing of blood, I'm assuming, and they're pretty much flicking it, on their faces. And the guy just flick, and then he notices something different about Athelstan, and then he stops, pauses, then he flicks him anyways. Probably a little bit more than the others, actually, to be honest with you. And you have the look on Allison's face is like, what the fuck am I doing? Where the fuck am I? Like, this is wrong. Just by his facial expression. But yeah, back to the Raven and shit. So we have Allison walking. You have Rolo and everyone else, Torsten and Left and One Eye and the rest of the women kind of fucked up, whatever. Only one that's not there is Siggy, And he says, taste some priest. And, Allison tastes some, whatever. And then you have literally this 5-10 minute, montage or, just seeing just everyone fucked up. It seemed like Rolo gave Allison a combination of LSD and weed. Allison, maybe salvia, whatever, so pretty much everyone is just fucked up. You just have so many people just drinking, dude, and people just, grabbing each other's hand, whatever, just bringing them to the back, bringing them to the tree, whatever, just banging, and clanging and shit. You have Allison literally going through so many mood swings in that one scene. One scene he's like, other scene he's like, you know what I mean? It was just really crazy and all this shit. And while this is all happening, Ragnar, is with his family, whatever. And the asks Ragnar, does Allison know what's going to happen to him? And Ragnar's like, no. And then you go on, I believe Ragnar talks about King Hork and how he says that he wants to meet him. He heard about all the great stories, about him and whatnot. So yeah, that tells Ragnar, please don't leave. And Ragnar leaves anyways. He looks at Athelstan like a look of pity or regret, and then he just walks, And then you have pretty much Earl Harrison's daughter and Siggy's daughter. Her and Athelstan leave with each other, and him and her are pretty much going to have sex. But he's wondering why she's doing all this for him. And she said, don't you get it? I have to, And yeah, to end part one of this, because like I said before, actually, I probably didn't say it before. I should have mentioned earlier. I'm pretty much, I probably have a 1 or 2 minutes left on this video. So this is going to be part one because I got other shit, obviously, to finish off for the complete episode review. So the last thing I want to mention is the fact that you see this weird dude with a fucking rooster, some eyeliner on, just going to the temple, just going throughout, Uppsala, the land, all shit. So everyone's pretty much fucked up. They spent the night, their little hotel. And King Hork goes into the temple where the priests are. And the motherfucker just starts kicking motherfuckers, yo. Just kicking and throwing shit at them. And then you have the priest be like, what the fuck? One of the priests, I swear, got a switch or something. Just starts whipping, just start beating the shit out of them. Then they all start ganging up on him. And then one of the guys, which I believe was one King Hork's dude, said, you show some respect to the king, King Hork. And then the priest was like, what? What the fuck, King Hork? And then you have King Hork laughing it off, And keep in mind, he had a rooster, in his arm too, So, because rooster tends to represent something, symbolism and all that shit. But yeah, thanks for watching part 1 of my Vikings Season 1, Episode 8, entitled Sacrifice Review. Like the video if you can, subscribe as well, write some comments down below. And yeah, part 2 and the finale be 2-3 minutes away. Adios.